If a Martian visited the United States, he or she or whatever would be perplexed at some of our public policy decisions. Let's start with gun control. A clear majority, sometimes more than 60%, always more than 50%, wants stricter gun control laws, whereas a clear minority, usually in the 30s, sometimes just in the 20s, says it opposes tighter laws. Why then has there been virtually no federal gun control legislation in 25 years? Or take abortion. Gallup asked Americans every year if they considered themselves pro-choice or pro-life. And for more than 20 years, a clear majority said pro-choice, a term that generally means they deferred to the decision of the woman, even with some state restrictions. Why then are state after state considering and even approving legislation that effectively bans a procedure that the Supreme Court ruled constitutional a half-century ago? In other words, why does our public policy often not reflect the views and mood of our nation? It is a question that many around the world ask about the United States. To be frank, it's a question many Americans ask about our country too. There are many aspects to the answer, some satisfying, others less so. Here are a few. Just because you have a view doesn't mean it matters. We poll everything these days, which forces people to have views on everything. But just because you have a view on something, so what? Polls tell you preferences, but preferences don't make policy. Just because you like something or don't like something doesn't mean you're willing to take action about it. I don't like broccoli, but I'm not going to lobby my congressman to ban it or to tax it. And I'm certainly not going to join a violent underground organization committed to blowing up broccoli farms. Depth of commitment matters at least as much, perhaps more, than breadth of commitment. 20% of people who really care about something will almost always be a more potent political force than 40% of people who have a preference but no strong commitment. This is why a minority can stymie gun control legislation and make progress toward banning abortion. For these advocates, these are the most important issues in the world. For most of the rest of us, they're two key issues among many, many competing with priorities with other issues, from climate change to war and peace. Also, in our two-party system, where party discipline is weak and election costs are high, our senators and representatives have views on everything, but respond to the committed few most of all. They're the ones that vote, they donate, they march, they scream, they shout. In other words, they matter. Add it all up, and you get a system that appears warped on the outside, but actually has its own impeccable internal logic. Should it be fixed? Perhaps. But the best way to do that is for the passive majority to stop being so passive. When all is said and done, a truly motivated majority cannot lose. That's an iron law of politics here on Earth and on Mars, too.